don't know how you describe my technique or my approach to painting. I don't really have one that I can think of. I don't have really a mind's eye to speak of. I'm aphantasic, so I don't really see anything in my head when I close my eyes and try and make pictures, so I can't really plan the way I want a painting to come out. I really just find an image that I like and I just start working with it and seeing where it goes and trying things out, making mistakes, layering on, painting off, sanding back, whatever it takes to get to a point where I've got something I'm satisfied with. Over time you start to see things emerging via accidents, via experiments, and either like them or I don't. If I like them, they stay. If I don't, I paint bits of it out and start again. And that includes everything. That's the way the picture looks, the colour, the form, the backgrounds, the theme. I just sort of make it up as I go along, and I like to think that it gives it a spontaneous feel and it makes it feel in my mind a lot more alive and organic, and tends to be a lot going on because it takes me so long to build up these layers that, you know, I'm having new ideas as I go along. I'm discovering new things, and so from what it starts out as, it often mutates and mutates and mutates, and you know, I pick a moment to stop when I add new elements to it, that they're not improving it, and then that's when I know when it's time to stop. It's a laborious process, and sometimes it can happen quite quickly, but most of the time it takes days or weeks, can be even months, and I'll often just drop a painting for a while, just leave it in a corner, and then come back to it later and have another bash at it, at which point it might take on a similar feel, or it might be something quite different. You'll notice that I'm using my fingers a lot. I don't really blend, I don't have the patience for it, I don't really mix colours particularly. I just like to throw things on, smear and smudge and play around and get the effect that I want. I don't really have the patience for the blending that you need to do with things like oil paints, which is why I use acrylics. I almost treat my paints a bit like pastels or charcoal, and so I rub on, I do a lot of dry brushing and I do a lot of rubbing, and I smear and smudge to get the effect that I want, and I don't bother with much blending or anything like that. I don't really see it's necessary. Another thing I tend to do is I don't pick a particular piece and work on it at once. I'm more likely to pick a particular colour and just build up glazes and layers of that colour all over the painting, and use up everything that I've ejected from the tube, and use that to guide me. My paintbrushes tend to take a bit of a beating, but I still keep using them even when they're all a bit frayed and abused, because you get different effects, you get different outcomes, more randomness to help the creative process. It's kind of a wasteful process in the sense that, you know, I'll often paint over certain areas over and over again because I don't like how they've come out, and you know, that's a paint layer that's sort of wasted, but you can always sort of see the old paint peeping through, and because I work up in glazes, the colours will shine through each other. I've always got a few artworks on the go at the same time because I tend to get bored working on the same thing, especially if it's like this one, which has been unfolding over weeks and weeks and weeks. If I get bored with one, I'll just move on to one of the others for a while, maybe have done several before I come back to one of the older ones. This one has gone through a few different permutations and spent quite a while. It's just pinned to my washing line because I really wasn't happy with where it was originally. Getting happier with it as I go along, but you know, I could get bored of it again, just completely change it all. Why not? That's fun of the process. If this was linear, if it was always just start in one place, follow a predefined path and get your outcome, where's the fun in that? Where's the excitement? Where's the mystery? I've always felt slightly uncomfortable with the idea of anyone watching me work, since it must seem quite random, and I sort of struggle with the idea that I don't really have much of a technique that I could really describe, and so I'm almost a little bit embarrassed to have people watch me work. I sort of feel like I shouldn't have to explain myself. I'm not very good at precision, so I don't worry about it too much. It's one of the reasons I tend to use sort of bold lines and splotches of colour and stuff, so I don't have to worry about precision. It's also why I work quite large, because I can't do fiddly things. I find it extremely difficult and very frustrating. I'm much happier if I can have something, a big canvas to work on. It's not because I feel like I want a bigger artwork so I can charge more money, simply because I can't work small. I'd almost certainly make more money if I made more smaller artworks, because they're easier to sell. As it is, I don't really make any money at all.